This is the BBC Home Service.
And that may sound rather complicated to you. For one very good reason, it is rather complicated. But you are listening to the Home Service, so don't be misled, even when our announcer comes on and says,
"This is the BBC Light Programme."
I say, one minute. Here, how do you do?
How do you do?
Come here often?
Well, only when I have some announcing to do.
Oh, what do you say?
Oh, nothing much. Things like, this is the BBC Light Programme.
Oh, that's very good. Nice. Yeah. Go on, say again, just once.
No, I'd rather not.
No, go on, be a devil.
No, it sounds so trite.
Well, try it.
Oh, very well. This is the BBC Light Programme.
Only marvellous. That's good. Here, Hugh, what would you say if you were an announcer and you had to say something like that? How would you do it?
Something like that.
Oh, that's nice too. I say, Betty, come here and meet an announcer.
Why, is he nice?
Charming. You know, he says things
And
beautifully.
he's got the cleverest little catchphrase.
Oh, what?
This is the BBC Live Programme.
How divine. I must listen.
And so you shall. Go on, Mr. Announcer.
Oh, all right. This is the BBC Light Programme.
Oh, it's out of this world.
She hasn't finished yet.
Ladies and gentlemen, whatever happens during the next 30 minutes will certainly be beyond our care.
Very nice. Very good.
Do you mind keeping quiet?
Hey, what did he say?
He said, keep quiet.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. Among those taking part are Hilary St. Upjohn Crumble, Marjorie Hawkflitch, Sir Cranworthy Critchington Groyle, Fatima Higgins, Gladys Rumbold, Alderman George Simcox, and of course Mr. Kenneth Horne, who prefers to remain anonymous. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenneth Horne.
hello and good evening. Well, first of all, here's a special message to all our listeners in Iceland. Wrap up. Well, now, tonight I was going to talk to you about current affairs, but quite frankly, I've never had an affair with the current, so instead, let me tell you about some of the things that happened to me last week. On Monday, I attended a wine tasting festival. On Tuesday, I was told that I had a good time on Monday. But just the same, Tuesday evening, I popped into the Folies Bergère, but there wasn't much on, so instead I went along to the Poetry Lovers Guild at Oxshott, and I listened to some rather unusual verse reading given by a young lady from Gloucester. She'd obviously led a very full life. On Wednesday, I went to Gloucester. Thursday, I spent all the morning digging in the garden and mowing the lawn. Afternoon, I played 4 sets of tennis and I won them all. What's more, I felt as fresh as a daisy, and I don't want you to think I'm boasting, but I must say that lots of men half my age just couldn't have managed it. I suppose it's because I always keep myself in tip-top condition. Friday, I couldn't move. But Saturday was really an eventful day. I remember that morning, I got up earlier than usual. Yes, Prudence, I'm in the bath. What is it?
Mr. Owen, your breakfast's nearly ready.
Oh, thank you. Oh, Prudence,
Yes, sir?
have you seen anything of my midget submarine?
No, I haven't.
Oh, that's funny. It was here in the bath the last time I reviewed the fleet. Now, let's see. Cruisers, battleship, destroyer, aircraft carrier. Woo! Oh, it's all right, Prudence. I found it. I'll come right down.
Morning, Mr. Owen.
Oh, good morning, Prudence.
Here's your paper, sir, and the Morning Post. Oh, now come along, sir. Your breakfast will be getting cold.
All right. Well, now, let's just have a look at the crossword, shall we? One down. What you'd expect to find in a monastery garden. 4 letters. Oh, I can't be bothered with the thing this morning. Let's have a look at some of these letters. Now, here's an invitation to dinner.
Captain and Mrs. Barrington Wycherley Struve request the pleasure of your company at a champagne supper at Barrington Towers on the occasion of their winning the first divvy on the football pool.
Sounds rather jolly. Oh, here's another invitation. Now, what does this one say?
Mr. Humphrey Boreham Stiff will be at home at 7:30 on the evening of the 14th.
Yes. Yes, and so will Kenneth Horne. Oh, this one looks interesting.
We should like to have you for luncheon on the 28th.
Signed, the South Borneo Cannibals Association. Now, what else is there? Oh, dear, look, what's this? OHMS. Good heavens, it's from my income tax office.
Dear sir, you may not be aware of this, but a proposal has been made to pull down your local income tax offices and to erect in its place a theatre. A protest meeting will be held at 11:15 on Saturday when we hope to have your support.
What a nerve. I wouldn't dream of going.
P.S. Don't forget you still owe us some money.
You can certainly count on my support. Now, what time does it say? 11:15? Oh, good heavens, I must hurry. Oh, I just made it. Lucky it's only 4 doors away.
A protest meeting? Right inside, sir. You're just in time.
My friends, this is indeed a most serious business. If this tax office is pulled down, it will be the thin end of the wedge. More and more tax offices will go, and less people will be paying income tax.
Disgrace. Oh, I'm terribly sorry.
My friends, one day income tax may become a memory of the past. But mark my words, no form of entertainment, however sordid or debased it might be, will ever take the place of the living, breathing commissioners of inland revenue.
Mr. Chairman, may I make a proposition?
All depends what it is, madam.
Well, in the view of the fact that our premises are to be demolished to make way for a place of entertainment, I should like to put it to the meeting that we anticipate their scheme by ourselves supplying entertainment in income tax offices. You know, a sort of pay-as-you-laugh service. Or assessments with a smile.
Well, at that point I left. Quite frankly, the whole idea of entertainment in income tax offices gave me quite a lot to think about. I mean, can you imagine what it would be like to walk into your local tax office one day and be greeted by this sort of thing?
Well, hello there. This is your genial host and compere 247//2984//38 subsection D, saying good afternoon and welcome to the Income Tax Show. Yes, if we can bring just one smile to one little face today, then somebody slipped up somewhere. And now, dear sir or madam, with reference to our show, I am commanded by the Commissioners of Inland Revenue to bring you Government Grant and his Whitehall Steel Band.
Income tax, everybody hates income tax. People's hearts are filled with hope
Till they get that little buff envelope.
A married man with no family was claiming an allowance on Schedule D. He came to children and in that place he wrote the words, "Watch this space." income tax, everybody hates income tax. 1906 is the surtax rate, so wonder everybody doesn't emigrate.
Hey-oh, hey-oh.
Taxmen come and I want to go home.
A businessman whose name you didn't know to Paris with his secretary had to go. The expense was allowed as necessary. A successful trip, not a word to busy.
Income tax, everybody hates income tax. We brought you the news that you wanted to hear in tonight's report on the fiscal year.
Olé.
And now, to deal with your tax problems, here is Miss Romney Marshes.
It's been a worrying week for some of you. The particularly anxious blue eyes of Finchley. No, dear, under no circumstances should you accept a present of 51% of the preferred ordinary shares, or you'll find that in no time at all he'll be giving you the business. And now we turn to Lonely of the Conservative Club Moscow. You say that since you've been out of the country, your wife's taxes have got in arrears. Tell her as nicely as you can to take them out of arrears and send them to the nearest tax office. Well, now, our last problem comes from a Goldilocks of South Kensington, who is actually with us today. Would you come up here, please, Goldilocks of South Kensington? Goldilocks, come along, Goldilocks, dear. Don't be bashful now. Come along. That's right.
Well, I wish I hadn't written to you now.
My dear, we're all friends here. Now, what is your problem, Goldilocks?
Well, you know on the income tax form there's a little box affair and it says, "Do not write in this space."
Yes?
Well, I wrote in it.
Oh, did you now? Well, let's have a look at what you wrote. Oh! Well, I think this should be dealt with by our expert from the Treasury, Mr. Maltravers.
Hello? Who called? Somebody want me?
Yes, Mr. Maltravers. Perhaps you'd read this.
Hey, that's putting it a bit strong, isn't it? I'd never have thought this of you, dear.
I didn't write it. He did.
Oh, that's all right then, Mrs. Marshes. You'd better leave this to me. Now, sir, first of all, I think I should point out that, of course, we can't possibly do what you suggest. However, if you feel that we have assessed you rather harshly, then we'll give you a chance to reduce the tax payable in our new quiz game, Beat the Assessor.
Oh, thank you.
Now then, sir, for each question answered correctly, we halve your tax, but should you fail to answer them, then your tax is doubled, right?
Right.
Right. First question. What is the difference between a red plush carpet? Give reasons.
Well, I suppose you might say that the overall effect is dependent upon...
I'm sorry, sir, your time is up. Bad luck. That's doubled your assessment, but you're still in the game. Now, question number two. Number two, listen carefully. There is a cage 30 feet long containing a full-grown Bengal tiger. At each end of the cage, there is a hole through which the tiger can put its head. Right? The tiger runs down the cage at 30 miles an hour and sticks its head through one hole. He then runs up the cage at 40 miles per hour and sticks his head through the other hole. Then down the cage at 50 miles an hour and sticks his head through the first hole, up the cage at 60 miles an hour and sticks his head through the other. Now the question is, at what speed will the tiger be travelling when it can stick its head through both holes at once?
Let me see, 4-no trumps.
I'm sorry, sir. You failed to beat the assessor, which means you now owe us the sum of £15,942. But now it's the jackpot question and your chance to wipe out your entire debt by answering just one simple musical question. Right. Can we have the blindfold, please? There. That's it. Now, you can't see, can you, sir?
No.
Good. Then listen. Now, what tune is this and who is playing it?
Soldier, soldier, won't you marry me with your musket, fife and drum?
Oh, thank goodness I'd recognise that anywhere. It's Soldier, Soldier, played in the distinctive style of the Malcolm Mitchell Trio.
Soldier, soldier, won't you marry me with your musket, fife and drum? Oh, how could I marry such a pretty girl as thee? With a wife and a baby at home, with a wife and a baby at home, with a wife and a baby at home, with a wife and a baby at home.
And now we come to the special Kenneth Horne documentary feature, Horne-orama. Yes, each week at this time, Kenneth Horne and his team of investigators will bring you a factual report on topics of immediate interest. And tonight we present a close-up on atomic power. Is it here to stay?
And if so, are we? Well, now, what is atomic power? I'll just ask this policeman. Morning, Constable.
Good morning, sir.
I wonder if you could help.
Yes, certainly, sir.
Well, now, Constable, what is atomic power?
Oh, well, now, sir, the atomic power now. That happens to be one of my pet subjects, as you might say.
Splendid. Well, perhaps you'd tell us all you know.
Certainly, sir. On the 15th of June, I was proceeding in a southeasterly direction up Half Moon Street when I perceived a motor vehicle parked on one side of the road. Thinking there was something odd about the date, I approached.
Yes. Quite so, officer, yes. But what is atomic power?
I'm coming to that,
Well,
sir.
I'm glad.
Yeah. Well, I takes out my notebook and I duly goes up to the owner of the aforementioned motor vehicle and I says, "Hello," I say. "I suppose you're aware, sir, that this here vehicle is causing an obstruction of the other motor vehicles using the street."
Yeah, Constable, very interesting indeed. But what is atomic power?
Let me tell it in my own way, sir. Now, at this point, I observed the driver of this particular vehicle was beginning to get a bit nasty about the situation. Well, now, you know us London policemen. It isn't often we have to resort to the use of force in the execution of our duty, but on this occasion, I'm afraid I had to bring into operation my handcuffs and take the driver into custody. And that's why, as you can see, one handcuff is attached thus to my right wrist, and the other... Well, now he's gone.
What is atomic power? Doesn't anybody know what it is?
Yes, I think I may be able to help. Here's my card.
Oh, thank you. Very glad to have you with us, Mr. Henry Spindlethrow of the International Atomic Research Association. Well, now, sir, perhaps you'll just briefly tell us all about it, will you?
Certainly. Well, you see, a formulade for this in expressia of mathematics. Would you like that?
Yes, I would. Please go on those lines.
Well, the average curriculate at the 11 or plus C gives it a half cm of V squared. You see? And the basic fundamode... A fundamode of it was the first formation of the solar system where exploding...
Yes, I quite understand that. Now, a lot of us I know, I and in common with many other people, have been worried about fallout. What is your view on that?
I'm glad you asked me that one. Yes. Well, where that of the Mercy and the Orly Doom fall out, fall in, constrain it. The Portia heard the Sutton Merchant of Venison.
Now, tell me, how does nuclear fission come into all this?
Ah, yes. Well, now, there is a real concentrale before the zeta exploded most of the escape electrodes. You see? And it manifests, or shall I give you a manifest and a practical for it?
I think it would be better that way,
Yes, well, there you see, in the average lighter will gradually develop its sound to a very tiny triddly-howdy lighter, which exploded and burn away half the cigar into the throat of the larynx of the human being. You see? Also, it's going to make it simple for the housewife in a laundrette where rotating the blankie. Oh, yeah.
Yes, that I can understand very easily. Now, sir, it has been nice of you. Nice of you to come along here today. Have you got some message that you'd like to go away with or send over to mankind, really, to tell us about atomic power and the benefits that it can bring?
May I do it in the words of the poem?
Yes, I'd be glad if you would.
Yes. Well, here and where that, or the average walking, I'll do Shakespeare for it again, if I may most, where you walk or strut it on that stage, then scan the leader for your newspaper page and suffer your most for day. The human being put his nose to the grindstone, all will be well at form. Oh, yeah.
Well, now. Now that we know what atomic power is, how will it affect our everyday lives? Well, one day, undoubtedly, it'll take the place of our present heating system.
George!
What is it?
It's getting quite cold in here. Pop out and fill up the scuttle with some more uranium.
Oh, all right. I'll just chuck this last bit on the fire. Horrible slatey stuff.
And then again, in the kitchen of the future, pride of place will go to the atomic pressure cooker.
Edith, Charles, Peter, Robin, come along. Dinner's on the ceiling.
But perhaps one of the most interesting developments will come when it's possible atomically to control the weather.
Hello? Air Ministry? Yes. Just one moment. I'll put you through to the weather controller.
Weather controller.
Agriculture here. I say, old man, the crops in the Dorset area are getting a bit parched. Could you possibly lay on a rather heavy downpour for us?
Yes, got that. Heavy downpour, Dorset area. Just a minute. Hello, your heavy downpour will be starting in 10 seconds from now.
Hello, Arthur. That rain come down a bit sudden, didn't it? My rheumatism and half twinging me is something chronic.
Ah, fair throwing it down it is. Terrible weather. I don't care what they say. If you ask me, I reckon it's all these atoms that are doing it.
Yes, I think it is too. Well, so much for the future. Now, what of atomic power today? Well, it's still mostly in the experimental stage. And the other day I visited one of our principal atomic research stations.
Halt! Who goes there?
All right, no need for alarm, it's only me.
Oh, who's me?
Kenneth Horne, I'm from the BBC. No, you don't understand. I'm not from Workers' Playtime. I got a personal letter of introduction to the Director of Research.
Very good, sir. You'll find him in the radioactivity room.
I see. How'll I recognize him?
Quite easy, sir. He's the one that glows.
Thank you.
Ah, Kenneth Horne?
Yes, that's right. Well, now, sir, perhaps you'd tell me exactly what you do here.
Oh, pleasure. Well, now, you see this machine here?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do you think it is?
What, this one? Well, I'd say it was a superheterodonic regurgitating calculator.
Oh. However did you know?
Was that a shot in the dark? How does it work?
Well, first we get some plutonium, and then we get some uranium, and we mix them all together in this cyclotron, and then we turn on the gas, and before you can say Joseph Locke, we raise it to a temperature of 60,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
Good gracious, what's it used for?
Making toast. Oh, now, you just make yourself at home, and don't steal any secrets. Bye.
Bye. Well, that gives you a rough idea of how they're carrying on in atomic research. But what of the future? Soon, perhaps, interplanetary travel will become an everyday affair, enabling the people from two different worlds to meet in friendship and universal goodwill. Perhaps even in our time, we shall see a flying saucer from another planet land in the very heart of London, its passenger to be greeted with traditional British ceremony.
I'm very sorry, sir. You can't park right here. Now, I want your name and number. I'd like
Well, there you are. There'll be another Hornorama next week when the subject will be Coal is the Outlook Black? Also in next week's programme we have the Norwegian Fisherfolks Ballet Company in La Vie en Rose on toast. Horace Tindersley performing Seal, and the massed pipes and drums of the Wickhampton Building Society. So until next week, this is Kenneth Horne saying goodbye for now. And remember, whatever you do, don't gossip about butter knives. You know how those things spread.
You have either been listening to or have just missed Beyond Our Ken, a sort of radio show which gave employment to Kenneth Horne and also to Kenneth Williams, Hugh Paddick, Betty Marsden, Ron Moody, Patricia Lancaster, Stanley Unwin, the Malcolm Mitchell Trio, and the BBC Revue Orchestra, conducted by Harry Rabinowitz. The script, believe it or not, was written, and letters of complaint should be sent to Eric Merriman and Barry Took. However, the onus must inevitably fall on our producer, Jakes Brown. This is the BBC Light Programme.
Hugh, yeah, I believe you two have met.
Oh, yes, of course. You're the chap who says this is BBC?
Yes, I am, and I'm sick of it.
That was evident from the way you said it.
I thought he did it rather well this week.
No, I don't agree. It lacked fire.
Oh, it seemed to me.
Yes, I know spirit of adventure. Now, the way I do it here, you see...
You want to know about the way you...
Program.
Yes, well, ladies and gentlemen, whatever happens during the next 30 minutes will be beyond our ken. It's certainly beyond me. Among those taking part are Dipsley Whiteock, Humphrey Tinkerton Cox, Ecstasy Lamore, the Right Honourable Sid Dunmo, Horry Potterton, Dame Mary Hackforth Witchett, and of course Mr. Kenneth Horne, who prefers to remain anonymous. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenneth Horne.
Hello and good evening. And now, first of all, here is a special message for all our listeners with baggy trousers. Belt up. Well, now, tonight I was going to talk to you about the problems of litter, but the producer said it was a lot of rubbish. So, instead, let me tell you about some of the things that happened to me last week. On Monday, I went to the annual holiday dinner of the Godalming Vegetarian and Nut Cutlet Society, where, with a rather cunningly arranged system of subdued lighting, they were serving a main course of roast goose. Unfortunately, they left most of the feathers on my portion, and the whole thing left me feeling a little down in the mouth. However, on Wednesday, I attended a big fancy dress ball organised by the well-known society hostess, Mrs. Alison Van Thrump. Everyone was there. Mr. Gerald Dunstan and his wife, Sir Henry Grunthorpe and his wife, Colonel Willoughby Blandings and somebody else's wife. I myself danced most of the evening with Miss Penelope Hacking Smith, a rather attractive debutante. Not a reluctant one either, because when I asked if I could take her home, she immediately agreed, so I took her home. Thursday, her parents came round and asked for her back. Friday, I spent a rather dull day at home because the television had been repaired. But on Saturday morning, I decided to do a spot of shopping. I had to get a wedding present for a friend of mine, so I popped into our local department store, Fortnite and Peabody's.
Good morning, sir. Can I be of some assistance to you?
Well, you see, my name is Kenneth Horne.
Oh, I don't think we can help you there.
No, you don't understand. I'm looking for a wedding present.
Oh, well, there's plenty to see. I'll show you around the store.
Oh, thank you very much. By the way, are you the manager?
Oh, no, sir, I'm the store detective.
Oh, really? How interesting. Yeah, do you find there's much pilfering these days?
Oh, I should say so. Do you know at our branch at Croydon last week we lost 43 umbrellas, 2 plastic sausage cozies and a fluorescent cummerbund?
Really?
Yes. Worst case of theft was at our branch at East Grinstead.
Really? What was missing?
Our branch at East Grinstead. That's what I call shoplifting, eh? Oh, dear. Well, there's our music and record department. A lot of people are giving records as gifts, you know.
Yes, that might be an idea, too.
Man, dig that crazy beat. These cats are the most crazy, man, crazy. I'll take that one, Daddy-o.
Very, very unusual. What an extraordinary chap.
Oh, not really, sir. The bishop comes in here quite often.
Well, now, sir, I'll leave you to browse around, sir. I'll just attend to this young lady.
Yes, I've got a better idea. You browse around and I'll attend to the young lady.
Well, now, so we haven't solved our wedding present problem, have we? I've got it. Our China department. Over here, sir. I've thought of the very thing. I'll just get it down for you. There. It's this week's special offer. A charming contemporary dinner service comprising...
Look out! Look out! Look out!
$365 pieces.
365. What happens if it's leap year? Thank you. Rather an early leap year this year, wasn't it? But I don't think I'll take it. I say, what about this?
Oh, that's, well, of course we do sell a lot, but not generally as wedding presents.
I must say you don't often see them with roses round them.
Well, that's true, sir. And, of course, this particular model is rather unique.
How do you mean?
Well, listen.
And charming. I think I'll take that.
Very good, sir. I'm sure your friends will be delighted with this novel musical beer tankard. 10 guineas, please, sir.
10 guineas?
Oh, yes. Genuine dressed from China.
Well, why is it stamped a present from Bognor?
Oh, just a printer's error.
Oh, I see. Anyway, that reminds me, I haven't fixed my holidays yet.
Well, why not visit our Happy Holiday Travel Bureau? Just ask for Mr. Ratchet.
I will. Mr. Ratchet?
Yes?
I'm thinking of going on holiday.
Not a splendid idea. Well, now, can we interest you in one of our special 7-day lightning coach tours of the continent? 7 countries in 7 days, including a free film show on the last day to show you where we've been.
No, I don't think so, thank you.
It doesn't appeal, sire. Very well. And how about Spain? Dark, mysterious, intriguing, romantic, exotic, pulsating, and dirt cheap.
No, I'm afraid not.
No, never mind.
Well, look, that poster there, that looks an attractive place.
Yeah.
I like the feeling of the hot sun beating down on the white stucco walls and that glorious stretch of golden sand sweeping down to a cobalt sea with the white-sailed yachts dancing on the water.
Yes, Birkenhead.
I've gone off it.
Well, look, sir, let's approach this thing sensibly. There's a globe of the world over there. Why don't you just go over and sort yourself out? And when you've made up your mind, come back and I'll be happy to make the arrangement.
Good idea.
Right, some people. 2 different worlds. Hello? Yes, Happy Holiday Travel Bureau. Yes, August Bank Holiday. Right, yes, 2 second-class day returns to Southend. Yes. Thank you, Sir Bernard. Good day. Ah, sir is back.
Yes, I'm sorry to be a nuisance, but have you got another globe?
No.
I'm sorry, I just can't decide. Can't you possibly suggest where I should go?
I could, sir. We don't run trips there. Now, look, how about Shuddering Sands?
Oh, is that a good resort?
Oh, it's more of a last resort. Here's their brochure. Read it for yourself. Good day.
Good day. Shuddering Sands. Well, now, let's see what it says.
Hello there, holiday makers. So you decided on Shuddering Sands for a sunshine holiday. Here are some of the attractions which will make your holiday the one you'll never forget. The Candy Floss Works Brass Band will, as usual, attract many people to the beach. They'll be playing every day in the park. Music of a different nature is provided with the afternoon concerts of classical works in the tea gardens. A wit on the council has described this event as tea and symphony.
And I hope he wasn't re-elected.
One special feature this year is the human Birdman, who takes off from the tower twice nightly and can be seen flying around the west coast, if windy, the east coast. Finally, There is our concert party at the end of the pier. Yes, there they are again, not only by popular demand, but also because they've been cut off by the tide since last year. Yes, your visit to Shuddering Sands is not complete without seeing the Sequinettes.
Oh, no, I can't possibly read any more about Shuddering Sands. And as for the Sequinettes, well, I haven't actually seen them, but can't you just imagine what that little show is like?
It's time to say hello and welcome to the show. It's time for introductions to be made. We'd like you all to know us intimately so. Secrets on parade.
My name is Meredith Frinton, entertaining you with puppetry and dancing, and of course a song or two.
And I'm Elsie Blossom. I'm known as Soubrette. I do a bit of everything, and I'm not married yet.
I'm, of course, the baritone. My name is Stanton Hope. You've probably all seen me doing ads for toilet soap. You get a little luckier each day.
And I am the soprano of television fame. No, don't look at your programs. It's Myra Tremaine.
I'm Pretty Fox the comic, some people say a star. If you like the jokes I tell, you'll find me in the bar.
We've introduced ourselves now.
That seems to be the lot.
Now, wait a minute, everyone. There's someone we forgot.
Yes, of course, it's our producer, manager and star, ladies and gentlemen, Hedley Clangor.
Well, now, boys and girls, after that spot of fun, it's time to introduce you to our baritone, Stanton Hope.
And good evening. I've chosen first to sing a very popular ballad of yesteryear, The May Tree. Thank you. In my garden grew, as pretty as can be, there were little pink blossoms in her hair, but lonely and sad was she. She pined for a nearby oak tree. She never knew the bliss of being held in the oak tree's boughs, or the thrill of an oak tree's kiss. The winds of March came blowing, and blew with such a force that the oak tree was nearly uprooted, but the May tree stood firm. Oh, the cause! She sturdily held the oak tree, her branches held him fast, and when later I saw the oak and May, I knew it was love at last. The two young trees are married now, and I'd like you all to know Mayflowers bloom from the old oak tree, and the May tree bears mistletoe.
Well, all good things must come to an end. We do hope that if you liked our little show, you will tell all your friends about it.
And if you didn't, keep your trap shut.
But seriously, though, don't forget a complete change of programme on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And our next show is programme number 35. So if you're ready, boys and girls, this is the Sequinet signing off.
Oh, has it been a lovely evening? We hope you had a lovely time. We tried to do our best with song and merry guests, and now we say farewell in rhyme. It's really getting awfully late now. The time has come for us to go. We will not say bonsoir, but merely au revoir. We'll be seeing you again next show.
So I decided to go to Bournemouth. For one thing, the standard of entertainment is much higher. I mean, this year you can hear, for example, our very own Malcolm Mitchell Trio, who are here now to play Blue Tail Fly.
Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. My master's gone away. The victim name of the blue-tailed fly.
And now we come to the special Kenneth Horne documentary feature, Hornorama. Yes, each week at this time, Kenneth Horne and his team of investigators will bring you a factual report on topics of immediate interest. And tonight, we present a close-up on books, what the public are reading.
They ought to be ashamed of themselves. Well, to start our inquiry, I paid a visit to a little bookshop just off the Charing Cross Road, and pushing my way through a crowd of elderly gentlemen busy copying down phone numbers from the advertisements outside, I went in and spoke to the proprietor.
Oh, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Now, what sort of books do you sell here?
You're not a policeman, are you?
Certainly not, no.
Oh, well, in that case, we got all sorts of books, you know. Fiction, adventure, travel, biography, all sorts.
Yes, but which do you sell most of?
Those in the plain wrappers.
Oh, I see.
Mind you, last week I did sell 400 copies of Tolstoy's War and Peace.
Did you, by Jove?
Yes, of course I had to put a different cover on it, you know. Nice bit of stuff she was, too. Oh, you'll have to excuse me, here's another customer.
My dear sir, this book you sold me last week, The Bad Woman of Tunbridge Wells, is absolutely disgusting. I've never read anything quite so sordid in the whole of my life. Have you got the sequel?
Certainly, sir, here it is. Son of the Bad Woman of Tunbridge Wells.
So much for the bookshops. On the other hand, for the really discriminating reader, there is, of course, the government stationery office.
Oh, hello. Of course, we've got something for everyone here. Who could fail to be absolutely fascinated by some of our recent publications? For instance, take oxyacetylene welding for beginners. Oh, it's such fun. All you need is a cylinder of oxygen and a pair of sunglasses, and you can play for hours.
Well, now, I've read that. It's too exciting.
Marvelous. But you know, my favorite is our latest, a real bestseller. Yes, it is. It's the survey by the Commissioners of Inland Revenue on the incidence of monetary transference within the allied companies of the Heavy-Duty Steel Wire String and Blast Furnace Corporation of Hemel Hempstead. Yes.
Fascinating.
Oh, it is. It's one long, merry romp, you know. And it's written by the same team that gave you glass blowing for the over 80.
Yes, but now, what are the public reading? Well, the only reliable source is the public library, and our reporter Cecil Snaith is waiting for us now outside one of London's leading libraries.
Well, I'm standing here now just outside the main entrance of this very great centre of learning. Here, books can be obtained on any subject you care to mention. It has, in fact, the most comprehensive collection of books to be found anywhere in the world. In a few moments, I'm going inside to talk to the chief librarian, Miss Parkinson, who has been in charge here for a great many years and is acknowledged to be one of the most foremost experts on literature. Where better than to find out exactly about reading and the habits of the public. I'm going inside now. Well, there is Miss Parkinson now at the far end of the shelves. Miss Parkinson, I wonder if you could Shh! Oh. With that, we return you to the studio.
Thank you, Cecil Snaith, one of our most brilliant commentators. And now let's turn from the people who read to the people who write, the authors. Well, being an author isn't always easy. Often it takes months of tedious preparation and ceaseless hard work to produce the finished novel. But what a wonderful feeling of achievement when that moment is finally reached. And no wonder that the author wishes to share his moment of triumph with a close friend.
Thank goodness it's finished at last. Come in. Oh, Rodney, how good of you to come.
I wouldn't have missed this moment for anything, Charles. So, you finally finished the book.
Yes. Oh, Rodney, I can't tell you how glad I am it's all over.
Was it beastly?
No idea the agony I went through with this one. Plot wouldn't come right. Characterizations eluded me. There were days when I just could not write a word. But now, at last, it's done.
Read it to me, Charles.
Very well. Cuddly Bunny popped his little pink nose out of the rabbit hole. Good morning, world, he said.
Turning now to crime, we immediately think of that celebrated authoress Agatha Trist, who, with some 450 books, 27 plays, and 3 or 4 films to her credit, is undoubtedly a unique phenomenon in the literary world. Unique, perhaps, because Agatha Trist herself is a rather genteel, middle-aged lady of simple tastes who lives in the seclusion of a quiet house in the country. The other day, one of our reporters went down to take tea with Miss Trist.
Thank you, Jenkins. That will be all.
Very good, madam.
Now, Mr. Marshall, how many lumps for you?
2, please, thank you. Now, Miss Trist, how did you first become interested in the subject of crime?
Well, you see, it's such a fascinating subject. I don't think anyone can fail to be interested in the play of human emotions involved in crime and its solution. You see, I look upon each of my little tales as a challenge to be met.
Well, you certainly succeeded. I suppose it is really quite difficult to be constantly thinking of new situations and methods of murder.
Well, of course, I am experimenting all the time. For instance, your tea.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, it's quite a new poison. My husband discovered it in India.
What? You mean that...
You rang, madam?
Yes, Jenkins. Put this gentleman in the gun room with the others.
Very good, madam.
Oh, and Jenkins.
Yes, madam.
Show in the book critic from the Radio Times.
So much for the books of today, but what of the future? Well, the trend is towards talking books, the putting on record of the classics of literature. Soon, perhaps, we will no longer read our favorite books, but settle down in the evenings and listen to them on gramophone records.
Do not muse at me, my most worthy friend. I have a strange infirmity, which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health to all.
Man, dig that crazy reading! This cat is the most. Go, man, go!
Well, there you are. This is Kenneth Horne saying goodbye for now and leaving you with this thought. Is it better to have loved a short girl than never to have loved at all?
You might have been listening to or have just missed Beyond Our Ken, a sort of recorded radio show which gave employment to Kenneth Horne and also to Kenneth Williams, Hugh Paddick, Betty Marsden, Ron Moody, Patricia Lancaster, the Malcolm Mitchell Trio, and the BBC Revue Orchestra conducted by Harry Rabinowitz. The script, believe it or not, was written, and letters of complaint should be sent to Eric Merriman and Barry Took. However, the onus must inevitably fall on our producer, Jakes Brown. This is the BBC.
Yeah, you see, you didn't get a laugh, did you?
I didn't intend to get a laugh.
Well, it's a fine attitude to take on a comedy show. Besides, it isn't what you say, it's the way you say it. I'll show you. Ron? Yeah? Yeah. Show this gentleman how to get a laugh by saying, this is the BBC.
All right.
This is the BBC.
There you are, you see? You got a laugh.
Yes, I know, but I am an announcer.
Well, no comment. Well, all right. Don't just stand there and announce the programme. I mean, you're no good at playing.
Dear. Ladies and gentlemen, whatever happens during the next 30 minutes will certainly be beyond our ken. Among those taking part are Senor Alfredo Rodriguez Hemingway, Bert Fitch, Noel Hartington Wainscott, Hilary Boot, the Honourable Priscilla Gormsdyke, Rear Admiral Pike, and, of course, Mr. Kenneth Horne, who prefers to remain anonymous. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenneth Horne.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Beyond Our Ken. Now, first of all, I have a special message for shipping. Will all ships expected in the Thames estuary next Thursday afternoon please proceed with the utmost care? I'm going paddling. Well, now, tonight I was going to talk to you about the domestic habits of the lesser spotted nighthawk. But having had a closer look at the domestic habits of the lesser spotted nighthawk, I thought we'd better leave that sort of thing to the Sunday papers. So, instead, let me tell you about a rather unusual dinner I attended last Wednesday, given by the League of Physicians, Doctors and Surgeons. We started off with a plate of ferridioxycarbotetrachlorate, jocularly referred to as brown Windsor soup. However, the next course was Suprême de l'Université Collège Outpatients Department Française, or in English, cottage hospital pie. For sweet, we all enjoyed steamed golden pudding smothered in a delightful syrup, which turned out to be Dr. Fosdyke's lightning cough cure. And then the eminent surgeon, Dr. Scalpel Fippingham Forceps, told us some of the very amusing things that happened to him on the way to the theatre. All in all, I had a splendid evening on Wednesday, and I haven't eaten so well for a long time. Thursday, I went to the doctor's. Friday, I felt much better, and it turned out to be quite an eventful day. As usual, I had breakfast in the dining room.
Can I clear away now, sir?
Oh, I say, Prudence.
Yes, sir?
Just look at this desk. I can write my name in the dust.
Oh, sir, I wish I was educated like you.
Well, whip a duster over it when you got the moment, will you? By the way, Prudence, what's the time?
It's just 9 o'clock, sir.
Oh, is it? I'll just switch on. I mustn't miss Housewife's Choice.
Hello, housewives, and what a lovely sunny morning it is. Just put those old pots and pans away for a while as you listen to your very own programme. And good morning first to Kenneth Horne of Kensington. I hope you're listening, because here is the record you asked for.
Oh, at last. I've been waiting for weeks.
Teddy bear who's been good this
Oh, bother. Hello.
Hello, Ken. This is Hugh Paddick here. I said, you know they're playing your record on Housewife's
Yes,
Choice.
I know they are.
I happened to be listening just now, which is
Yes,
most
well-
unusual for me, because I never listen to the programme.
Well, thank you, Hugh,
For some
yes.
reason, I switched on this morning, and when I heard your
Well,
name
it's
mentioned,
very
I
nice
thought I'd
of
ring
you.
up and let you know, just in case you hadn't had the wireless on, and you might have missed it.
Yes,
you
yes,
see.
thank you.
But I hope you don't mind my ringing.
No,
you.
certainly not. I must ring off now. I'm trying to listen to the wireless. Goodbye. Oh, not again. Oh, dear. Hello.
Hello, Ken. This is Ken. Confusing, isn't it? Listen, old boy. Am I right in supposing it's actually you who asked the teddy bear's picnic on Housewife's Choice?
Yes, that's right.
Oh, well, frankly, I'm surprised. I mean, after all, the teddy bear's picnic.
Well, what's the matter with it?
Oh, nothing really, I suppose, if you like that sort of thing. I mean, if it were me, I should ask for something much more artistically satisfying, like I'm a pink toothbrush.
Yes, yes. Well, thanks for phoning. I really must go now.
Oh, sorry, mustn't keep you. Cheerio.
Oh, bother. My record seems to have finished. Now I shall have to request it again. Now, where's my pen? Ah, now then, here we are. Perhaps you may remember. Oh, here's another one. Yes, it was me. I did request it. I liked the teddy bear's picnic. I'm asking for it again. And who is this?
Oh, excuse me, sir. There's a gentleman to see you. Shall I show him in?
Yes, of course.
In here, sir, please.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Horne.
My name is Duncan Warrington Barker, DIG, BBC OB.
All right, you don't know how to spell it.
Yeah. Well, in a few weeks' time, we're starting something entirely new in radio.
Oh.
This is something quite revolutionary for the BBC. It's a panel game.
Oh, no, not another one.
But this one's completely different. Gilbert Harding won't be in it.
I see.
And now, Mr. Horne, we would like you to be the chairman.
Oh, thank you.
Now, the idea is this. It's a symposium of questions from an invited audience answered by a team of experts. And, I may add, we have devised a rather witty little title.
Oh, really? What's that?
We're calling it a symposium of questions from an invited audience answered by a team of experts.
Oh, that's very catchy, very apropos, isn't it? Yes. All right, I'll do it.
Oh, good. Now, the first broadcast is coming from the old barn, little twittering Berkshire.
Right, well, I'll be there. Sir, by the way, excuse me, a bit embarrassing question. Do you happen to have any influence with the Housewives' Choice people?
Hello, Mr. Corset. Here, there's something going on in the old barn.
There generally is this time of evening.
No. Be they BBC fellers with some newfangled panel game. Why don't you come along? 'Tis free.
All right, I will.
I say, would you mind keeping that cow quiet? Now, quiet everybody, please. Thank you. This is the BBC, and welcome to Little Twittering. Tonight our panel consists of first, at the top of the table, philosopher, poet and writer, Bertrand Bussell.
Good evening.
And next to him, charming and talented actress Eunice Gaysmile.
Hello.
Next, our expert on local government, chairman of several committees and prospective parliamentary candidate for the Goodwin Sands, Mr. George Simcox.
Hello all.
Finally, the well-known countryman and author, Arthur Fallowfield. Right, well now that's our panel. And now we're ready for the first question, which comes from...
Timothy Hatt. I should like to ask the team, do they agree that the current high rate of super tax discourages incentive, and does it reverse the profit-output ratio, thus creating a retrogressive movement in regard to the production of non-essentials?
And a very good question, too. Does the team think what the gentleman said? Bussell?
Well, it's no good asking me. I don't know. I haven't the faintest idea. When I was at Cambridge, I did a thesis once on the subject, and we really came to the conclusion that, economically speaking, that, well, it's no good asking me. I just don't know.
Yeah. Now, Miss Gaysmile, would you care to elaborate on that?
Well, darling, I think the question had something to do with money, and of course I'm all for it. But when it comes to the question of tax, I'm afraid I can't give any advice because, frankly, darling, I just don't pay any. Oh, what have I said?
George Simcox, perhaps you can contribute something.
Well, I've had a lot of experience on finance committees, and we used to have a saying in the old council chambers, money talks. And that's true, you know, money does talk. Of course, all it ever says to me is goodbye.
Well done, Simcox. And so you should be. Now, Fallowfield, what's the countryman's view of all this?
Well, I think the answer lies in the soil. What do we simple country folk know about super tax anyway? We like to live a plain, honest to goodness, down-to-earth life. As I said to my chauffeur this morning, Philpotts, I said, 'tis a glorious day, drive me down to the country. I don't think you can...
Thank you, Arthur, very much indeed. Thank you. Well, the team seems to be agreed on that point. Next question.
I'd like to ask a question.
Well, just a minute, sir, just a minute. I think this lady was first.
My name is Mrs. Florence Fox.
Well, never mind, dear.
I'm very worried about my teenage daughter. Does the team think that young girls nowadays are given too much freedom?
Simcox, we'll give this question to you.
I'd rather have the teenage daughter.
Yes, quite. Now, Eunice, Eunice?
Well, darling, I do understand this problem because I played the part of a mother with the same problem in a recent play. And it was one torment after another. My billing wasn't right, the dressing room was appalling. And my dear, as for the leading man, well, he didn't seem to get the hang of his part at all. Absolutely no sense of character.
But Eunice, surely that was the play you did with Alec Guinness.
Yes, that's right. Whatever became of him?
Arthur, what have you got to say about teenagers?
Oh, good luck to him, that's what I say. It's no good, you know, you can't fight nature. It's all harmless fun anyway. I'm sure Miss Gay Smile would agree with me. There's no harm in a bit of kissing and cuddling now and then, now is there, Eunice?
No, darling, none at all.
Good, then I'll see you afterward.
I think we should hear from Bustle on this now, Bertrand.
Well, I see. Get this chicken off my lap. Heavens. It's laid an egg.
Bustle, please. Bustle, pay attention, please. Now, do you think that teenage girls are given too much freedom?
Well, I think I can answer this one. You see, as a man of the world, I feel that it is all... Well, there have been certain situations in which, how shall I put it? I do feel qualified in saying it. I make this statement in all sincerity. Well, I remember once... what was the question again?
Are teenage girls given too much freedom?
Yes.
Thank you. And on that note, we'll say goodbye from the panel, George Simcox.
Hello.
Eunice Gaysmile.
Night, night, darling.
Arthur Fallowfield.
Happy ploughing.
And Bertrand Bustle.
Well, there's no good asking me. I mean, I haven't the faintest idea.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we return you to the studio. And we're just in time to hear music for milking provided by the Malcolm Mitchell Trio.
So long it's been good to know you. So long it's been good to know you. So long it's been good to know you. What a long time since I've been home. And I gotta be drifting along. Gotta be drifting along. I've gotta be drifting along. Gotta be drifting along. Gotta be drifting along.
And now we come to the special Kenneth Horne documentary feature, Hornorama. Yes, each week at this time, Kenneth Horne and his team of investigators bring you a factual report on topics of interest. And tonight, we present Sketchbook for 1908.
The pages of our sketchbook are turned by Mr. Kenneth Horne, suave, debonair, man about 5'10" in his stocking feet.
1908, a great year for stocking feet.
1908, a bad year for shoe polish.
How well I remember that year.
Nobody asked you. 1908, a year that had gaiety, charm, elegance, and 12 calendar months.
Yes, they don't make years like that any longer.
A year of achievement.
Come on, be a sport.
All right, little old man, I will go away with you.
How well I remember that year.
1908. First, let's take a look at the ordinary man. Revolting, wasn't it? Now let's turn to something...
That's right, go on, turn your back on the ordinary man. The time is coming, the hour is at hand, the workers are rising!
About time too, lazy devils. 1908.
How well I remember that year.
Oh, a glittering decade. And at the fashionable hunt balls, the cream of society gathered. Glittering and decayed.
I say, Lady Caroline, that shottish was a trifle hottish.
Indeed it was, Lieutenant. I wonder if it's any cooler out on the veranda.
Much. Lady Caroline.
Oh, it's no use, Reggie. You know our love can never be. After all, you are only a third lieutenant, and Daddy is colonel of the regiment.
Oh, don't let that worry you. I'm not a snob. Oh, Caroline.
Oh, Reggie.
Sir, unhand my daughter.
Oh, Colonel Smellingham Phipps. Sir, I do hope you're not thinking of holding Lady Caroline against me.
You were doing all right on your own. Caroline, return to the ball. Now then, sir, who are you?
Lieutenant Marshbank, sir.
Marshbanks?
Sir.
Marshbanks? Her name is with me. I seem to remember a tiger, Marshbanks. Once drank 4 Mayfair clubs dry and threw a policeman into the Serpentine. Any relation?
My mother, sir.
Yes, that's fine woman. Well, we'll forget this incident, Marshbanks. Let's return to the ball.
Good heavens, sir. It's gone.
Gone? Gad, you're right. I say, can we have our ball back?
1908.
How well I remember that year.
A year of conquest in the air. Yes, on a day in May, several English aviators were drifting silently into the sky. In balloons. It was, in fact, the international balloon race.
I think I'm gaining on them. I'll throw out a sandbag, and up we go. Now, another sandbag, and up, another one, higher, another one. Oh, higher, higher, higher. Oh, what a wonderful sensation it is floating along with the breeze. Rising, dipping, oh, it gives a man something. What say you, Caldecott? 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 Caldecott! Funny, I could have sworn it was a sandbag.
But it wasn't only in aviation that progress was being made. In America, Mr. Henry Ford had already developed the prototype of his new family motor car.
Oh, Martha, come on out here.
Land sakes, Elmer, what in the world is that?
That's a motor car, Martha. And this here gentleman is Mr. Henry Ford. He designed it and built it.
Glad to know you, ma'am. This here's my new design for a family car, and I'd be mighty obliged if you and your family would take the first ride in it and kind of try it out.
Oh, well, gosh, Mr. Ford, we'd just love to. I'll call the family. Matt, Joe, Bill, Gwendoline, Sylvia, Geraldine, Frank, Ezra, Penelope, Mortimer, Hank, Shirley, Elmer Jr. Come on, kids, we're going for a ride with Mr. Henry Ford.
Well, that's everyone, Mr. Ford. I guess we're all on board.
Oh, gee gosh, isn't it exciting?
Back to the drawing board. (1908) and the theatres are booming. At the Shaftesbury, a fashionable throng flocked to see Lim Chittagong and Madge Wellington Boot, and they gasped at the audacity of their new play, The Unbuttoned Glove. It achieved worldwide fame. The newspapers in New York had this to say.
The Unbuttoned Glove is sensational. Never before has the theatre experienced such a thrill with this play that begins where the others leave off. It will hold you, grip you, move you, enthrall you. Yes, it's a story of lust, hate, greed, envy, sex, violence, and corruption.
And in London, the Times said...
Diverting theatre.
course, to the ordinary man in the street, the music hall reigned supreme.
Oh, yes, mate. Money went a lot further in them days. For a shilling, you could have a real good night out, mate. 3-course dinner, seat at the old Arm Music Hall, played a Welks, pair of boots with 2 whiskets, and a copy of Hadley's Guide to the Turf, mate.
All for a shilling?
Yes, I still got some souvenirs of them happy times. Have a welk.
Thank you.
Yes, who will ever forget the old Arm? Greatest music hall of them all.
Now, alas, still open. Here is a typical program of 1908.
Ada West, Serio.
Mortimer Chundwit, rope dancer.
Conrad Heppington, impersonator.
Listen, Enid Soiree, fun with a cobra.
And many others contortionists. But perhaps best loved of all was the lovable Harry Biggs, as he used to sing this lovable song. We must apologize for the quality of the recording, which of course is very old, but in case you missed one or two of the words, we have with us in the studio the lovable Harry Biggs himself. Now, Mr. Biggs, would you sing that song for us now?
Delighted to.
Yes, 1908 was indeed a year of melody. And of course, in these modern days of American musicals, one soon forgets the days when British musical comedy was on top. And the hit show of 1908 was undoubtedly The Boys Are Back, which starred a young, vivacious personality, Miss Cicely Drawbridge. No one who ever saw the show will forget her singing this song.
Come, raise your glasses, one and all, to men both brave and true. They aren't the smartest in the land, but they're British through and through. The dustman, they keep old England clean, in ragged coats from John O'Groats right down to Golders Green. They empty your dustbins to brighten up the Strand. The dustman, the dustman of the land.
The dustman,
Here they come, hooray! See their shovels green, hooray! And before they come, the dustman,
Well, there you are, 1908, a year that's gone down in history. Right down.
Oh, well, I remember that year.
Oh, go away. This is Kenneth Horne saying goodbye for now and leaving you with this thought. If you put a police constable to bed, would you be laying down the law?
You might have been listening to or have just missed Beyond Our Ken, a sort of recorded radio show which gave employment to Kenneth Horne, and also to Kenneth Williams, Hugh Paddick, Betty Marsden, Ron Moody, Patricia Lancaster, the Malcolm Mitchell Trio, and the BBC Revue Orchestra, conducted by Harry Rabinowitz. The script, believe it or not, was written, and letters of complaint should be sent to Eric Merriman and Barry Took. However, the onus must inevitably fall on our producer, Jakes Brown. This is the BBC Light Programme.
Yeah, hello.
Oh, good gracious, it's you again. Well, what is it this week?
Well, you say this is a BBC Light programme.
Yeah.
How do you know it is?
Well, it's written down on this script.
No, you don't want to believe everything you see in the script. It's all a lot of lies. I mean, you can't go
Look,
on that.
I'm not a bit interested in the script.
Well, neither am I, really, but the money's good, isn't it? I mean, that's quite a bit on these repeats, I reckon. You
Oh,
put it
dear.
right.
Ladies and gentlemen, whatever happens during the next 30 minutes will certainly be beyond our ken. Among those taking part are Beulah Stukely, Sutherland Fitzroy Prim, the Honourable Amelia Woking Fitzmolton, Harry Rabinowitz...
Oh, but that's not a real name.
Mervyn Linseed, R.A., Lance Corporal Herbert Potts, and, of course, Mr. Kenneth Horne, who prefers to remain anonymous. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenneth Horne.
Hello, good evening, and first of all, here's a special message to all golfers. Tee up. Well, now, tonight I was going to talk to you about the Colorado beetle problem, but since the Colorado beetle has no problems, except with other Colorado beetles, let me instead tell you about some of the things that happened to me last week. On Monday, I went down to Henley-on-Thames for the Association of Misers and Skinflints Water Carnival and Regatta. Unfortunately, it had to be cancelled because none of the members was prepared to push the boat out. And so I popped along to the British tyre manufacturer's annual blowout. Left me feeling rather tired. However, on Tuesday, I enjoyed an afternoon of Shakespeare at the new open-air theatre in Tufnell Park, where they are doing Julius Caesar in traditional Roman dress, if wet, in gumboots and sou'westers. On Thursday, I paid a visit to the Air Ministry roof to meet some meteorologists, or as they are sometimes called, liars. I spoke to one prominent weather forecaster who's been forecasting prominent weather for many years, and he told me exactly how it was done. Apparently, every morning they send up a balloon to which is attached a pail, or to give it its technical designation, a little bucket. And if it comes back with water in, they know it's been raining. Friday, I think, was my busiest day. In the morning, my first call was to my barber's for a short back, and oh dear, you have let it go, sir. Anyway, he was in his usual jocular mood.
And then this actress turned to the producer and said, "No, it's in the other room." You can use that one if you like. Of course, you'd have to clean it up a bit. Give it a shampoo, as you might say.
Yes, you might, if you were feeling a bit off colour.
Oh, I say, sir, you've got a mole on your neck.
Have I really?
Yes, you have. Go on, shoot, get out of it. Go on. Good. They come in from the river, you know, sir. Oh, well, there we are, sir. No, a spot of brilliantine, sir.
No, thank you.
A little spray, sir.
No, thank you.
How about a little French polish, sir?
No, I don't think so.
Anything else you wanted, sir? All right for razor blades, toothpaste, shaving cream?
No, thank you. Good gracious, look at the time, I must fly.
Wings, sir?
I shall have to hurry, I'll be late for my singing lesson.
Thank you so much. That was splendid. Well, that's all we have time for this week, because now I must prepare for my next pupil. I believe you know him. It's Kenneth Horne. I'll just put this cotton wool in my ears.
Morning, Professor.
All right, Mr. Horne, here is your cotton wool.
Thank you. Love, it is all that is immoral, it is all. Oh, if you go down in the woods today, you're sure of a big
That's enough!
surprise.
No, bitte! Danke! Whoa! No! Yeah. Mr. Horne, why must you persist with this singing? Isn't there already enough trouble in the world?
I'll have you know I'm quite highly regarded in musical and artistic circles. In fact, this very evening I've been invited to a little soiree. There'll be verse reading, a spot of music, and afterwards they're serving food and drink. It's a sort of soiree with a binge on top. Oh, dear, I'm sorry about that. Never mind. Now, where did I put that invitation? Ah, here it is.
Mrs. Olga Cremorne requests the pleasure of Mr. Kenneth Horne's company at a meeting of the Muswell Hill Cosmopolitan Society of Musical Appreciation, verse reading, dramatic recitative, and billiards. Flat 3A, Curlew Mansions at 7. P.S. Please bring a bottle. It gets rather chilly at this time of year.
Well, I must say I'm looking forward to an evening of music and culture. Sounds as if it might be rather unusual. Ah, here we are, Curlew Mansions. I'll just ring the doorbell.
You rang, sir?
Mrs. Olga Cremorne?
No, I'm the butler.
No, I mean, does Mrs. Olga Cremorne live here?
Next door.
Oh, it must be here then.
Oh, Mr. Kenneth Horne, how nice of you to come. Just leave your shooting stick and plastic Mac in the hall. If you can find room. I'm afraid it's terribly crowded with all this furniture. As a matter of fact, my friends call me the hostess with the mostest in the hall. Well, now, everyone's in there. Oh, I wonder if you'd mind taking this tray of cocktail snacks in for me.
Certainly, I'll be delighted. I say, everyone, grub up! Oh, terribly sorry.
I don't know who you are, sir, but I think it's a positive disgrace to burst in like that in the middle of the exquisite playing of Miss Hockflitch and her ensemble. We must at all costs preserve the refined and dignified atmosphere of this select gathering. You come charging here with a tray of food.
Hands off the edge of it! You stabbed my hand with a sausage stick. Now what you doing with that fork? God, you do love a gherkin.
Here, leave some for me. Ooh, this tastes a bit peculiar.
Madam, you're eating my carnation.
Well, I'm glad to see you haven't wasted anything. Oh, who's for this last sausage roll?
Delicious.
Oh, I'm glad you two are getting to know each other. Oh, incidentally, Mr. Horne, this is Mr. Humphrey Boreham Stiff.
Oh, how'd you do?
Yes, you're Kenneth Horne, are you? I heard your radio show last week. I must say I found it dull, insipid, inordinately unfunny, and completely lacking in good taste.
I'm glad you liked it. What exactly do you do?
I, sir, am a poet.
Yes?
Yes, I specialize in poems on London. Much of my work has been written about the town.
It's about time they washed some of it off.
Quiet, everyone, quiet. Now we're going to be entertained by Miss Marjorie Hockflitch herself with a delightful cello solo.
Music. Excuse me, miss, would you care to dance?
Well, I'd love to, but I'm afraid I can't. Not while I'm playing the cello.
Mr. Horne, why don't you sit down?
That's a good idea. I can't see anywhere to sit.
Oh, yes, there is. Look here behind you. This contemporary wickerwork chair. It's the latest thing, you know.
Oh, yes. Oh, do you know, I thought it was a dog basket. How silly of me. Well, I'll just...
Oh, you're right, you're right. It is the dog basket. Oh, come along, Pinky. Pinky dear, Pinky. Let go of the gentleman's leg, Pinky. Oh, dear, you see, he's a playful little fellow. Oh, yeah, come along, Pinky Pooh. Time for walkie poos. Come along now. Come along. Oh, off you go.
Good evening, madam. Are you the owner of car number 309 GMC?
No, I expect it's one of my guests. Oh, do come in. Quiet, everyone.
I'm looking for the owner of car number 309 GMC.
Oh, that's mine, officer.
The coupe, sir?
Yes.
With the coffee and cream bodywork?
That's right.
And the dusty pink seat covers?
Yes.
Simply heaven. Wherever did you get them? I just adore that puce upholstery. The whole thing's quite a picture.
Oh, do you really think so?
Oh, yes, but if I may venture to criticize, there's just one little thing wrong.
Oh, really? What's that?
You forgot to leave the lights on.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry, Constable.
Well, I hope it won't happen again, because the lights make such a difference, you know. It's given the whole thing a sort of a glare.
Everything all right, Constable?
Oh, yes, thank you, madam. I'll just go.
Oh, don't go. Stay and join in the fun.
Oh, may I?
Oh, of course. Make yourself at home. You'll find the punch bowl over there.
Oh, thank you. It's a bit nippy at first, but it's lovely once you're in.
And now, friends, we've got a big surprise for you. Elton Croft will sing some of his folk songs.
Thank you. Yes, here are just a few of the many old English folk songs that I have collected from such eminent authorities as Alan Lomax, Cecil Sharp and Benny Hill. And I'd like you all to join in on the Fol Lol Lars. Right, here we go. Said Adam to Eve in the garden of old, 'tis like a taste of heaven. The fun begins at 8:30 and leaves off at 11. With a fol and a lol and a la, la la, and a hey down merry down day. The cotton mill workers were oppressed, their lives were filled with gloom, for they had to raise their hands on high if they wanted to leave the loom. With a fol and a lol and a la, la la, and a hey down merry down day.
Shh. Quiet, everybody. Please. Oh, there it is again. Quick now. Everybody round the table. Is there anybody there?
Yes.
Who are you?
Bert Gormsdyke.
Have you a message for
Yes.
us? What is it then?
Belt up. Trying to get to sleep up here. I'm on night work, you know.
It's the man upstairs. He's always complaining. Oh, never mind. On with the party.
Well, I think it's high time I contributed something to this evening's entertainment. I happen to have brought my tenor saxophone with me, and I'd like to play it for you now. First, may I give you A Night on the Bear Mountain by Cibulka.
Well, good night, Mrs. Cremorne. I think I'd be going now.
Sorry to rush off. I've just remembered I've left a kettle on.
Good night.
Mustache now, great fun. See you again soon.
Good night.
It's been wonderful. Punch was absolutely delicious. Good night.
Good night.
Extraordinary thing. Everybody seems to have gone suddenly. Oh, wait a minute. There's one person left. Obviously, he's the only real music lover in the whole crowd. I say, sir, I do hope you enjoyed my little offering.
Hey, what did you say? I can't hear a word you're saying. Speak up, Angela. I'm a little bit hard of hearing. Speak up, young man.
So there you are. If that's a musical circle, then I'm glad I'm a square. But not too much of a square to enjoy the music of the Malcolm Mitchell Trio as they play The Lonesome Traveller.
Traveling, traveling, I've been a traveling on.
And now we come to the special Kenneth Horne documentary feature, Hornorama. Yes, each week at this time, Kenneth Horne and his team of investigators will bring you a factual report on topics of immediate interest. And tonight, we present a close-up on art. Do we really understand it?
Well, this painting quite beyond me. I just don't know what it's supposed to be at all. I mean, it looks like one terrible hodgepodge of messy colours. Oh, dear. Imagine waking up one morning and finding that staring at you in the face. What a ghastly picture.
And that was the man who painted it. Yes, art is a confusing subject, but even if we can't understand it, there's no stopping our thirst for knowledge. Just go along to any of our leading art galleries and see for yourself the eager throng of true art lovers.
And over here we have a selection of old masters.
Quite superb, magnificent.
Look at this one here. Isn't that exquisite? The Mona Lisa.
Magnificent, Mona Lisa.
Blimey. Mona's the right name for her. Look at her, eh? Oh, look at her. Picture of misery, isn't it?
Yeah. That's what you look like when I come home late at night.
Now, of course, this is only a reproduction. The original is in the Louvre.
Best place for it, if you ask me. Well, I mean to say, they appreciate that sort of thing in Paris.
Now, this one here is a Renoir.
Is it? Looks like a woman in a feather hat to me.
Renoir was the artist. You know, he specialized in these gaily dressed Parisian women.
Did he? Well, he's a bit of a lad then, wasn't he? Eh? Now, then, this one's much more my cup of tea. Very lifelike, I must say. Two lovers snogging on a park bench.
You are looking out of the window.
Oh, dozy me.
That brings us to the end of our conducted tour.
Thank you so much. It's been delightful.
Thank you, sir. Of course, it is usual. It is customary to...
Yes, sorry. He wants a tip.
Oh.
Here you are, then. Many thanks. Ta-da.
Thank you, sir. I haven't seen one of these little silver threepenny bits since before the war.
Yes, well, I've enjoyed going round with you, too, and I'd like you to accept this.
Ah, thank you, sir.
Not at all. I say it must be pretty awful for you to have to cope with people like that.
Oh, no, sir. It's not every day we're honoured by a visit from Sir Gerald and Lady Kelly.
Well, now we turn to the artists themselves, for whenever artists meet, you can be sure of a lively and stimulating conversation on art. Let us now listen to two such artists as they discuss their work.
Well, Rodner, what do you think of it?
Charles, I think it's superb.
Do rather.
Such depth and perception. And you've managed to catch the full inner significance of your subject. I particularly like the delicate undertones, the powerful impasto, the fusion of neorealism with the post-impressionist feeling.
I'm terribly glad you like it.
Like it? My dear Charles, I think it's quite the best thing you've ever done. And I do sincerely hope it doesn't rain and get washed off the pavement.
Now we're going to have a look at another aspect of this fascinating subject, and one that rather appeals to me. Artists' models. Not a word to Bessie about that. Yes, we mustn't forget the debt the painter owes to those hard-working girls who spend many long hours, well, how shall I put it, sitting pretty. Oh, dear, wash it off the pavement. I like that very much. Anyway, let's take a quick peep inside a studio in Chelsea.
Oh!
I beg your pardon. Yes, the world of art has many facets, but of course, to get the real atmosphere of that bohemian life on which the true artist thrives, one has to go to Paris. So I went. Oh, sous le pont d'Avignon, sous le pont, hoopla, hoopla. Ah, how nice it is to be in Paris again. I'll just sit down here at this sidewalk cafe and have a glass of wine. Oh, sous le pont d'Avignon, sous le pont d'Avignon. Shocking service here. Waiter! Oh, how silly of me. Garçon! I say you!
You and me, monsieur?
Yes, I've been sitting out here at this table for ages. You call this a sidewalk cafe?
Certainly not, monsieur. This is our furniture. We have been evicted.
Oh. Oh, bad luck. It must be a French Prime Minister. Ah, here we are, Montmartre, the artist's quarter, the home of surrealist painting.
Monsieur, a word in your eye.
Ah, modern painter.
Oui, monsieur, please take a look at my latest painting. I'm most unhappy about it.
Oh, what seems to be the trouble?
It is the nose, monsieur. I'm terribly worried about the nose.
Oh, why don't you just change it?
Change it. I cannot find it.
Yes, this is the Montmartre of today. A rather different one from the Montmartre of the 90s, gay, vital, and outrageous. I can see it all now.
Hello, Marie. I haven't seen you for some time.
Well, I have been out of town posing for Renoir.
Now, there is a real gentleman, different from that Van Gogh. He is a peasant.
Ah, but it is nice to see you again, Yvette. And you know something? This is my first visit to the Moulin Rouge.
How do you like it, eh?
It is marvelous. It is so gay and exciting and... Ooh! What is that under the table?
Don't worry, chérie. It is only Toulouse-Lautrec.
Yes, Paris was and still is the Mecca of art, and a real art lover can always find something to interest him wherever he looks.
Monsieur, postcard, the
No,
lovely
no,
postcard.
no.
Yes, one here.
No.
Here, look at this one.
No.
Here. It's very nice.
Oh, that's
Done
one-
in
that
colour.
one is
It's a
rather
lovely
nice.
one.
Yes, I think
Here
so,
is
yes. This is Kenneth Horne saying goodbye for now and leaving you with this thought. If a man keeps £500 under his pillow, is it enough to retire on? Good night.
You have either been listening to or have just missed Beyond Our Ken, a sort of recorded radio show which gave employment to Kenneth Horne and also to Kenneth Williams, Hugh Paddick, Betty Marsden, Ron Moody, Patricia Lancaster, the Malcolm Mitchell Trio, and the BBC Revue Orchestra conducted by Harry Rabinowitz. The script, believe it or not, was written, and letters of complaint should be sent to Eric Merriman and Barry Took. However, the onus must inevitably fall on our producer, Jakes Brown. This is the BBC Light Programme.
Yeah, I say, yeah.
Oh, not
Wait a
you
minute.
again.
Hello.
What is it this week?
It's very good of you to give up all your spare time to come and say it.
Well, I'm paid for it.
What? Paid for it? Paid for saying that? Oh, what a swindle, isn't it?
Look, this isn't all I do, you know. I also read the news.
Well, there's nothing in that.
Oh, really? I'd like to hear you say things like, Mr. Tranby-Croft was, of course, a preeminent connoisseur of universal antiquity, specializing in the Baroque, Rococo, Pre-Raphaelite, and Byzantine periods.
Well, that's easy.
Oh, go on, you say it.
Listen, Mr. Tranby-Croft was, of course, a preeminent connoisseur of universal antiquities, speculating in cocoa, Edinburgh rock, and fresh-paper lives. No, it's all right, then you better go on and announce it. It's all wrong, really, though. I should be...
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, whatever happens during the next 30 minutes will certainly be beyond our ken. Among those taking part are the Honourable Charles Cobweb, Deirdre Popplejoy, Councillor Ulysses Grift, Sir Frisbee de Nosh,
Frizzy, open!
Grace Golightly, the Maharaja of Huddersfield, and, of course, Mr. Kenneth Horne, who prefers to remain anonymous. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenneth Horne.
Hello, good evening, and first of all, here's a word for all French waiters. Garçon. Well, now, tonight I was going to talk to you about drilling for oil, but I thought you might find it rather boring. So, instead, let me tell you about some of the things that happened to me last week. On Monday, I paid a visit to a sausage rehabilitation centre in Wiltshire. And it really was most interesting to see how they make both ends meet. However, on Tuesday, I was invited to stay with a friend of mine in the country. It's a charming house, which, to quote the estate agent, was a nice unfur semi-det ville, 2-minute tube, 3-bed, 2-recep, mod kit, and Actually, it's a 12-room Tudor mansion on the main London to Brighton line, and I must say it's a magnificent place. In fact, there's only one snag. My friend has to leave the front and back doors open to let the trains go through. Still, he's got a copy of the timetable, and everything works out quite well, providing there's no alterations in the schedule. Then it becomes a trifle awkward. For instance, on Thursday morning, just as I started my porridge, the 8:15 came by a little earlier than usual. Eventually, I finished up having my toast and marmalade at Victoria Station. However, it did get me to town nice and early, which was just as well, because I had to go and deliver my weekly article, which I'm writing for a woman's magazine. Their offices were somewhere in Fleet Street. I say, excuse me, could you direct me to Fleet Street, please?
Yes, certainly, Governor. Now, let me think. Fleet Street, that's right here somewhere. Cool. Yeah, I ought to know where it is. I've worked here long enough. Fleet Street. No, I think you go down that road. No, wait, I'm a liar. No, you don't. No, cool, love old Ireland. I know London like the back of my hand. Hold on a minute. Now,
excuse
Fleet
please, I couldn't help overhearing. Fleet Street is down this road and first on the left.
Who asked you, blooming foreigners? Stick our blooming noses in everywhere. Now then, Sir, Fleet Street. Well, quite honestly, if I was you, I'd take a taxi.
Yes, I think perhaps I'd better.
A cab, sir? Just over here, sir. Now then, where to, sir?
Fleet Street.
Right, sir.
I say, driver, where are we now?
South Mimms, sir.
South Mimms? That's in the middle of Hertfordshire.
Yes, sir. Pretty county, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's miles away from Fleet Street.
I know, sir, but, well, it was such a lovely day.
Oh, this is preposterous. It's an outrage. Get there as quickly as you can. Disgusting. I've never had anything like it. To write to my MP about this, dear Bessie. Oh. How dare the driver take such liberties? What do we stop for now?
Well, sir, I'm afraid I'll have to ask you to leave my cab.
Oh, why?
Can't stand people talking about me behind my back.
But, driver, you can't possibly leave me out here right in the middle of the... Thank you very much indeed.
I can't help that, sir. Now then, how'd you get?
Oh, very well. What a nerve. Still, there's one consolation. He forgot to collect his fare.
That'll be 37 and 6, sir.
Oh, this is too bad. All right, there you are.
What? No tip? Cool. I don't know. Some people got a burglar alarm on their dustbins.
Now what on earth am I going to do?
I say, can I give you a lift into town?
Oh, that's awfully kind of you. I have rather been left stranded.
Well, jump in. I say, you don't mind if we have the old wireless on, do you?
Not at all. I should enjoy it.
The part of the Spirit of Romney Marshes was played by Norman Shelley and not by Shirley Bassey. That was a repeat of the programme first heard on October the 24th, 1804.
Well, here we are, old boy, Fleet Street. I'm afraid this is as far as I can take you.
Well, thank you very much indeed.
Pleasure.
Well, Fleet Street at last. Good heavens, and by some strange coincidence, which could only happen on sound radio, I'm right outside the offices I want. Now, this is it. Tittle Tattle. Jolly good name for a woman's magazine. Oh, good morning. I'd like to see the editor, please. I'm a contributor. The name is Kenneth Horne.
The editor is expecting you. Go straight in.
Thank you.
Come in, Mr. Horne. Oh, well, at last we meet. I must say you don't look a bit like a beauty expert. Still, appearances are deceptive, aren't they? I mean, I'm a rugger blue. Well, there we are. Anyway, we do appreciate your articles. We all think they are simply scrumptious. And our women readers just love your beauty hints and all those little wrinkles you give them. Yes. We all went mad about that little gem in last week's article.
Oh, really? Which was that?
Oh, you know, if you're worried about your crow's feet, wear shoes. That is what I call a beauty hint.
I'm so glad you like them. As a matter of fact, in this article, I've had rather a novel idea for women's hats.
Oh, do tell.
Well, the idea is to decorate them with real live birds.
Oh, what a dreamy notion. What's the idea behind it?
Well, it's very simple. If the hats aren't paid for, they fly back to the shop.
Oh, bliss. Yeah. Well, I can't stand here gossiping all day. I've got a magazine to edit. By the way, here's an advance copy of this week's issue. Thanks for calling. Bye.
Bye. Well, I'm glad I've a copy of Tittle Tattle. It'll give me something to read on the train. Tittle Tattle. Well, there seems to be something for everyone here. Now, what's this on page 3?
Here are some oments for the Omandy Man by Timber Bonds. Well, this week I'm going to show you how to make 2 orange boxes out of an old wardrobe.
I'll read that later. Now then, page 7.
Knitting. This week we're going to knit something really exciting. Angora braces. And you'll have ample wool for this if you just unravel last week's little failure.
Well, it seems reasonable. You know, this magazine is most enlightening. Here's society gossip, for instance. Now, what does it say? While Sir Willoughby and Lady Clamering were guarding jewellery in their bedroom, thieves broke in downstairs and watched television. Page 10, cookery.
A lot of my readers find difficulty in telling the difference between mushrooms and toadstools. Well, it's quite easy. You simply cut them up and use them to garnish the steak. Then eat the meal and go to bed and don't worry. If you wake up in the morning, they're mushrooms. Now, here's something new to do with pineapple chunks. One evening, if you haven't got much to do and you're rather bored, why not try putting the pieces together again?
I must try that sometime. Now, here's the serial story. And as usual, it starts on page 24, is continued on 62 and 73, part of page 97, and eventually comes to its breathless conclusion at the foot of column 6, just under the corset advertisement. The Fitzroys of Belgravia by Greaves Cartland.
The story so far. Handsome, bronzed, pipe-smoking Roger Shallerley was trapped in the ornamental garden of a plastic novelty factory in Wembley, surrounded by a tribe of man-eating cannibals. You'll be glad to learn he did not escape. Meanwhile, tall, rugged, grim-featured, gum-chewing Cynthia Chuff was taking tea with the Fitzroys at their elegant house in Belgravia. Now, read on.
Oh, Peter, what's happened to us?
She murmured with trembling emotion.
Nothing, darling.
He whispered passionately as he grasped the thin shot silk of her umbrella.
Why do you ask?
He added. Cynthia turned her pale, delicate face towards him.
Because you've been seen with another woman.
She said accusingly. Peter was unaffected. He'd been to a council school. Purposefully, he knocked out his pipe on Lady Dunkley Fitzroy, and taking Cynthia Chuff into his strong, manly arms, he spoke.
Darling.
He stammered.
Sorry. Darling.
That's better. He stammered.
I'm so all alone, wouldn't you?
Suddenly his past swelled up before him. He remembered he'd been an escaped convict. And for the second time in his life, he didn't finish the sentence. Just then, old Soames Fitzroy leapt up from his armchair. He muttered.
Who put that drawing pin on my chair?
He continued.
Was it you, Alicia?
No, Grandpapa.
She riposted.
Nor I.
Quipped young bespectacled Lucas Fitzroy.
It was me what done it.
Confessed a passing gypsy.
You ruined my father, Soames Fitzroy.
He ejaculated.
But now revenge is mine.
And with a crack of the whip, galloped off into the shrubbery. Suddenly the door of the grandfather clock swung open, and out stepped a complete stranger.
So you've come at last.
Snarled old Soames Fitzroy, and the stranger noticed that he was holding a revolver.
What are you going to do?
Queried the stranger. Answered the revolver.
Oh, Grandpapa, what have you done?
Piped little Alicia Fitzroy. Old Soames put down the gun, smiled reflectively, and turning to the assembled company, he said proudly,
I've just shot the author.
And not a moment too soon, if you ask me, said burly, broad-shouldered Kenneth Horne as he stepped up to the tall, slim microphone and announced the instrument-playing, song-singing, applause-getting Malcolm Mitchell Trio.
Well, the fox went out on a chase one night, prayed to the moon to give him light. He had many a mile to go that night before he reached the town. They never had such a supper in their lives. And the little ones gobbled up the bones.
And now we come to the special Kenneth Horne documentary feature, Hornorama. Yes, each week at this time, Kenneth Horne and his team of investigators bring you a factual report on topics of immediate interest. And tonight, we present a close-up on the English. What are they really like?
Do we still lead the world?
Are we a first-class part?
What of the people?
Is the Englishman really reserved?
How do we fare today?
Can we sell more abroad?
Are there too many traditions?
What of our national heritage?
And is there still time to do this feature?
Yes.
Good. Well, now, what is a typical Englishman? There is one quality that's inherent in us all. Imperturbability in the face of the unexpected. Take, for instance, the case of the flying saucer, which landed in the back garden of a typical suburban household.
Ada,
Yes, Bert?
kettle's boiling.
All right, I'll see to it. Oh, Bert, there's something strange in the back garden.
What is it?
I don't know. It's a peculiar-looking thing with a great big shiny dome.
Oh, Lord, it's Kenneth Horne again.
Oh, don't be silly. It's one of them things we've been reading about in the papers. A flying saucer.
Oh, don't be daft, Aid.
Oh, the lid's opening. There's a little green man getting out. Hello. Like a cup of tea? Oh, you must have had a long journey.
Boing, boing, boing.
Boing, boing, boing.
Bert, I think he's a foreigner.
Oh, Aid, do leave me alone.
Oh, he's getting back in his saucer. Oh, he's taking off. Bye-bye. Oh, Bert, I've just been speaking to a thing from another world.
Look, Ada, I'm busy.
Just fancy, your little Ada is probably the first person ever to talk to a man from Mars.
Aid, how many times have I got to tell you not to keep worrying me when I'm writing a letter? Now then, where was I? Dear sir, this morning I heard the first cuckoo. I just put me raised in the
And it isn't only at home that the English remain calm and dignified. Abroad, their behavior serves as an example to the more excitable foreigner, particularly at the casino. 21, rouge, impair.
Zut alors! Sacre bleu! I've lost all my money! What am I to do? This is terrible! Why did I not pack the rate? Oh, this is not my night at all! How foolish of me ever to come to this wretched casino! All my money! I've lost all my money!
Whereas the English...
I say, Charles.
Yes, Rodney.
Were you on the red?
No.
You lost then?
Yes.
Much?
Everything.
Everything?
Everything.
Bad luck.
These things happen.
What are you going to do? Oh. There's a seat here if anyone wants it.
So much for the English on holiday, but what of the English at work? Let's take a look at that much maligned individual, the British workman.
Mate, let's have another crack at it. You, me, you, me, you, me, you. Now, just once more. Hey, has got the condensed milk open. Now for a nice cup of tea.
However, after a hard day's work, the Englishman is always glad to return to his loved one, or even sometimes to go home. For it has been truly said that the Englishman's home is his castle.
Emily, I'm home.
Oh, so there you are.
Hello, dear. I bought you a nice bunch of flowers.
Oh, don't you talk to me. What a day I've had. The kids have been playing up, the laundry hasn't come home, the sink's blocked up, and now to crown it all, you stand there with a bunch of flowers in your hand. You're drunk!
And of course, when he's not at home, where does the Englishman seek refuge? Well, in his favourite club. And now, one of the most famous London clubs is, of course, the Agamemnon Club in Pall Mall. And at this very moment, we're going over to join our commentator, Cecil Snaith, who is waiting outside.
Yes, I'm standing now on the steps of this ancient and historic club, which, as you may know, was founded in 1711 by a group of distinguished artists, writers, and politicians. Today, it boasts one of the most exclusive memberships of any club in the world. And on almost any evening, one can find gathered together here the most brilliant figures of our time. During the last few minutes, a number of celebrities have arrived, whom we hope to be having a word with in a few moments. And now the time has come to join the great company assembled inside.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Are you a member, sir?
No, I'm from the BBC. And with that, we return you to the studio.
Thank you, Cecil Snaith. And now let us turn from clubs to the people who spend a large part of their lives in hotels.
Is this your first time at the Majestic?
Yes, as a matter of fact, it is.
I thought you were new here. Of course, I've been here for many years now.
Oh, personally, I prefer the Grand.
Oh, well, it isn't what it used to be. When I was there, I can remember as many as 50 titled people staying at the same time. But in the last few years, it's come down rather badly.
Oh, well, anyway, this place will suit me for the season, and then I think I shall move on.
It's all right for you, young fellas. But I'm quite happy here. I've sort of got used to the old place. Still, I like you, young man. I'm sure we shall get on very well together.
Oh, there's the gong for dinner.
So it is. I suppose we'd better go in.
Is it always as crowded as this?
Yes, I'm afraid so, but you'll get used to it.
Waiter!
Coming, madam.
Yes, what a proud people we are. And in summing up the English, we must undoubtedly point to those outstanding qualities that every Englishman possesses: dignity and courage in the face of danger.
British prisoners, the camp commandant hereby decrees that in future all British officers shall work.
British officers work? You must be mad.
Very well, Colonel. If you do not work, you will be shot.
Ah, that's more like it.
This is Kenneth Horne saying goodbye for now and leaving you with this thought, which is for all married women. Would you agree that husbands at the breakfast table are generally behind the times? Good night.
You have either been listening to or have just missed Beyond Our Ken, a sort of recorded radio show which gave employment to Kenneth Horne and also to Kenneth Williams, Hugh Paddick, Betty Marsden, Ron Moody, Patricia Lancaster, the Malcolm Mitchell Trio, and the BBC Revue Orchestra conducted by Paul Fennery. The script, believe it or not, was written, and letters of complaint should be sent to Eric Merriman and Barry Took. However, the onus must inevitably fall on our producer, Jakes Brown.